Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our lecture series on Krishna's Dwaraka Leelas. In the previous episode, we have discussed how Rukmini has written a letter to Krishna. Rukmini was the princess of the city of Vidarbha. She was the daughter of King Bhishmaka, and she had 5 brothers. And the first brother, eldest brother, was called Rukmi. And Rukmi was envious of Krishna, and Rukmi wanted Rukmini to marry Shishupal. And Shishupal was also envious of Krishna, and Rukmini was not at all inclined to marry Shishupal. And even Bhishmaka also was not so excited to get his beloved daughter Rukmini married to Shishupal. But still, Bhishmaka had to be obliged to the desire of Rukmini, and the necessary arrangements for the marriage of Rukmini and Shishupal were being made. In this context, Rukmini became so anxious, and actually she has heard about the beautiful qualities and activities of the Supreme Lord Krishna, and just by hearing the descriptions of Krishna from several Brahmanas and sages, she had given her heart to Krishna, and she accepted Krishna as her husband within her heart only. So now that her marriage arrangements were being made, she called for a Brahmana and requested that Brahmana, please take my message to Krishna. So she has written a letter and gave that letter to Brahmana, and this Brahmana went all the way from Vidarbha city to Dwaraka kingdom and showed that letter to Krishna. And in that letter, we have elaborately described that Rukmini has expressed her heart. She said, Shritva gunan bhuvana sundara srunvatam te nirvishya karna vivarair haratongatapam rupam drisham drishimatam akhilarthalabham tvayachyuta vishati chittamapatrapam me. She said, Shritva gunan bhuvana sundara srunvatam te. O bhuvana sundara, O most beautiful of all the people in this entire universe, O Krishna. Shritva gunan, I have heard about your qualities. Shritva gunan bhuvana sundara srunvatam te. Nirvishya karna vivarair haratonga tapam. When the beautiful descriptions of your qualities and pastimes enter the ear holes of a sincere hearer, harato angatapam, one's bodily distresses are completely vanquished by such hearing. And rupam drisham drishivatam akhilarthalabham, and by seeing the beautiful form of Krishna, one attains everything that is attainable in one's life. Akhilarthalabham, all benefits and all auspiciousness and all good fortune can be attained by seeing the beautiful form of Krishna. And she has not yet seen that form, but she has actually seen Krishna's form through hearing from great souls who would come to their kingdom and then describe to Rukmini about the beautiful qualities of Krishna. And then she says that Tvayachyuta vishati chittam apatrapam me. My shameless mind, my restless mind has concentrated and focused completely at your divine lotus feet, Krishna. So my request to you is, because I am attracted to you so much, please accept me as your wife. And my brother is making arrangements for my marriage with Shishupal. I am not at all inclined to marry Shishupal. So you please come and kidnap me. And I will give you a plan also. So just one day before the marriage, it's a tradition, it's our culture that the girl, this bride, would go to the temple of Durga, and then she would worship this Durga goddess, the deity of Durga, and you can come to the temple and you can kidnap me. And you can defeat all the kings who might come to obstruct you. So in this way, you can just accept my hand. And I am meant for your pleasure, Krishna. So I have offered my heart to you. And how can the share of lion be taken by a jackal? Krishna is compared to lion, while Shishupal was compared to jackal. And Rukmini was the share of Krishna. Rukmini belongs to Krishna. She is the possession of Krishna. And she says that how can I be taken by Shishupal? Krishna, please come and protect me and save me from this predicament. Then this Brahmana has given this letter to Krishna, and Krishna went through this letter, and Krishna understood how much Rukmini loved him. And after reading this confidential message, the Supreme Lord Krishna spoke to this Brahmana. Oh Brahmana, I already knew the heart of Rukmini. Whenever a devotee is sincerely longing to serve Krishna or see Krishna, the intentions of that pure devotee and sincere devotee are already known to Krishna. Because Krishna is all pervading, He is there in the hearts of all beings and He is everywhere. Although apparently Krishna is not in close proximity or physical proximity with the devotee, still on a spiritual plane Krishna is always living with the devotee, and Krishna is actually staying with Rukmini in her remembrance. So remembering Krishna and seeing Krishna and then associating with Krishna are non-different. So far, Rukmini has been associating with Krishna through her remembrance. Now, she is inviting Krishna to directly give his beautiful darshan to her. And Krishna said that I am also remembering Rukmini and I am also attracted to her. Just as she was attracted to me, I am also attracted to her. And nights I could not even sleep. I am always remembering Rukmini Devi. So definitely I will come and take Rukmini Devi from Kundinapur, their city. Krishna said that, okay, let us start. This Brahmana came all the way from Vidarbha city to this Dwaraka city. And Krishna said, let us go together on a chariot and let's go to your Vidarbha city and then do the needful. So Krishna and this Brahmana boarded a chariot which is driven by 4 beautiful horses who are very swift. And Krishna very swiftly went from Dwaraka to Vidarbha city. And Krishna also said this Dwaraka, told this Brahmana, I know that out of envy, Rukmi was trying to give Rukmini to this Shishupal. So she dedicated herself exclusively to me and her beauty is flawless and I will definitely bring Rukmini to Dwaraka. So having taken this vow, Krishna mounted on his chariot along with the Brahmana, and the chariot was driven by 4 horses, and the names of the horses are also given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna's chariot has 4 horses. So the names of those horses are Shaibhya, Sugriva, Meghapushpa and Balahaka. So these are the 4 horses. And the Brahmana stood there with his joined palms, and the Lord mounted on his chariot along with this Brahmana, and he went to the Vidarbha city in a single night. From Dwaraka to Vidarbha city, the Lord reached in just one night. And in the Vidarbha city, King Bhishmaka was making a lot of preparations for his daughter's marriage. And Bhishmaka, out of affection for his son, Rukmi, he could not say no to Rukmi. So then Rukmini was just receiving all this injustice in this. And the city was so beautifully decorated on the occasion of Rukmini Devi's marriage. And Bhishmaka worshipped the forefathers, worshipped the Devatas, worshipped the Brahmanas, and he performed the necessary rituals which are customary in any marriage. And all the Brahmanas started chanting various Vedic mantras. And Rukmini dressed herself in her wedding garments. And she was also ornamented with very beautiful necklaces and other kinds of ornaments. Although she was being decorated nicely, she was not taking so much pleasure in all this because her mind was constantly thinking. She was very anxious. I had sent a Brahmana with a letter to Krishna. I have not yet known the result. So Brahmana has not yet come. Will Krishna come back or not? She was anxious. And the king was just distributing charity to the Brahmanas and he was giving gold, silver, decorated cows, and sesame seeds mixed with raw sugar. So like that, he was giving a lot of charity to the Brahmanas and guests. He was giving a lot of gifts to the guests. And to this city, Vidarbha, Shishupal also came. Shishupal was the prince of Chedi dynasty, Chedi kingdom, and he was the son of Damagosha. So this Damagosha, King Damagosha, along with his son Shishupal, arrived to this Vidarbha city, Vidarbha kingdom, and Bhishmaka received Shishupal and received Damagosha with great pomp, and he welcomed them. And King Damagosha also traveled to this Kundinapur. So Kundina is the city in Vidarbha kingdom. So he also traveled to Kundinapur, accompanied by so many armies of elephants and chariots and numerous soldiers. So it's natural for Kshatriyas and great kings, whenever they go from their kingdom to other kingdom, they go with a lot of paraphernalia and then associates and servants. So it's very grand procession that they lead to the new house, new city. And Shishupala's supporters were also there along with Shishupal. So Shishupal was very dear to Shalva, Jarasandha, Dantavakra, Vidhurata. These are all demoniac people. So actually, demoniac people and materialistic people make friendship with similarly demoniac people. So Shishupal was having friendship with this Shalva, Jarasandha, Dantavakra, Vidhurata. So many of these people will be killed by Krishna. Of course, Jarasandha will be killed by Krishna's devotee Bhima, and other people like Dantavakra, Vidhurata, they will be killed by Krishna in the future pastimes of Krishna. So they all came along with Shishupal. And Shishupal was also accompanied by another king named Paundraka. So Paundraka is another foolish king who imagined himself to be God. He thought that he is Krishna. And he presents himself as Vasudeva, and once he even sends a letter to Krishna saying that, Krishna, I am the original Krishna, I am the original Vasudeva. You should give up your designation and position as Vasudeva. You should give up all your symbols of Shankha, Chakra, Gada, etc. And he had sent a letter. And Krishna read that letter and then he laughed, and entire assembly in Sudharma assembly hall. So they all laughed. Later Krishna went and taught a lesson to Paundraka. He killed Paundraka and then he gave him liberation also. Anyways, these are the associates of this Shishupal. So Shishupal had so many hundreds of kings as his friends. All of them were coming for his marriage with Rukmini. But none of them knew that Shishupal would not be marrying Rukmini because of Krishna's divine transcendental intervention. So now they all have come, and these envious kings, they thought that Krishna and Balaram also might come for the marriage. They also might come, and Krishna might kidnap this girl, Rukmini. If Krishna causes any disturbance here, then all of us, we hundreds of kings, will counterattack Krishna, and we will do the needful to teach him a lesson. They all had made up their minds like that also. So they are coming for an auspicious occasion, but they had their envy and anger and revengeful attitude and a spirit of fighting with Krishna there. It's the nature of demoniac people. So now Krishna had already left from Dwarka city to this Kundinapur, and Balramji came to know that. Balramji came to know that Krishna had left alone from Dwarka city to this marriage ceremony of Rukmini, apparently, basically to kidnap Rukmini. So Balramji also started from Dwaraka city. So Krishna was coming along with his Brahmana and his beautiful chariot, and Balramji also came along with some of his soldiers and associates. Now meanwhile, Rukmini was in deep anxiety. She was waiting, when will Krishna come? So she was anxiously waiting for the arrival of Krishna, and she was anxiously waiting for some message from this Brahmana who carried her love letter to Krishna. And she was thinking, alas, my wedding time is coming very close. How unlucky I am. Krishna and the Brahmana did not come yet. I don't know why. And that faultless Lord, did he see that I am too bold? Because she openly expressed her heart in front of Krishna. And she also even requested Krishna, you make a plan. You should come and kidnap me like this. And if you don't come and kidnap me, I will not be staying alive. and maybe after hundreds of births of austerities, I might become your wife one day. She was like very bold in her expression, and she was showing a lot of, she was quite obstinate in her expression because she was too desperate to have Krishna as her husband, and even in her dreams she cannot accept Shishupal as her husband. So in this way, Rukmini wrote a letter. So she said that I must be unfortunate. Maybe the creator, the providence is not pleased with me, or Lord Shiva or Durga, Devi, Gauri, Rudrani, Girija, Sati. So they have turned against me. So she was anxious, and in her anxiety she was thinking like this. Then as Rukmini was thinking like this, and she closed her eyes, and the tears fell from her beautiful lotus-like eyes, and she was remembering Krishna. Suddenly she saw this Brahmana. So to give her a lot of hope in this hopeless situation, to relieve her of all distress and anxiety, this Brahmana has come along with Krishna's message. And this Brahmana, and just before this Brahmana has come, Rukmini also felt some kind of auspicious signs, auspicious omens. Her left eye and left arm and left thigh started quivering. So it is considered very auspicious if a woman's left side is quivering. So she was hopeless and she was crying tears, and suddenly as she saw these bodily symptoms that were very auspicious, she felt little encouraged and she felt little hopeful, and suddenly this Brahmana made his entry along with the message of Krishna. So the Brahmana came to see Rukmini, and the Brahmana announced to Rukmini that, my dear girl, so Krishna will definitely come and accept your hand. This is his message. He has ordered me to come and communicate this to you. And as this Brahmana told, Rukmini was extremely ecstatic, and she was so happy, and she didn't know what to do, and she wanted to gift this Brahmana. She wanted to offer some precious gift to Brahmana, and in that haste, in such a exciting moment, she didn't know what to offer. She just offered dandavats to Brahmana. She just fell at his feet and then thanked him, expressed her profuse gratitude to this Brahmana for giving this message. And the Brahmana became so happy seeing this happiness of Rukmini. And now Krishna has already arrived to this Kundinapur, and Balramji also meanwhile has arrived. So when Krishna and Balaram had arrived, then King Bhishmaka also received Krishna and Balaram with great respect, because Bhishmaka was like inclined to give her daughter Rukmini to Shishupal only because of Rukmi's insistence. He was just obliged by the obstinate and adamant behavior of Rukmi, but not that he was totally favorable to Shishupal. He loves Krishna and Balaram also. So Bhishmaka very cordially welcomed Krishna and Balaram, and he received them with all kinds of gifts, and he worshipped them, and he had Brahmanas chanting so many mantras and performing so many rituals to invoke auspiciousness at the welcoming ceremony of Krishna and Balaram. And he also arranged very nice accommodations for Krishna and Balaram, and all the people in Kundinapur saw Krishna. Now they are taking darshan of Krishna. Seeing Krishna is such a festive occasion for so many devotees, and even those people in Kundinapur also were spontaneously attracted to Krishna. Just like all the Dwarkavasis were accustomed to see Krishna's beautiful form on a regular basis, still they cannot give up the opportunity to see Krishna. They want to regularly see Krishna. So in Sukadeva Goswami describes, Sutta Goswami describes, Nityam nirikshamananam yadapi dvarakaukasam navitrupyanti hidrishaha shriyo dhamangamachutam. The Dwarkavasis are accustomed to see Krishna on a regular basis, but still they are not satiated with this darshan of Krishna. Navitrupyanti hidrishaha. Their eyes are not fully satisfied, because Shriyo Dhamangamachutam, Lord Achyuta's body, Lord Achyuta's beautiful transcendental divine spiritual form is the abode of all opulences. If all the beauties are there within this one body of Krishna, and which eyes that are accustomed and are having the appetite to see beauty, which eyes would be satisfied. Mm. He is called Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. Krishna is the collection of all beauties. So there is a lot of beauty in the material world, and there is unlimited beauty in the spiritual world. Krishna's form is the origin of all those beauties, and it is the collection of all those beauties. So that collection of all beauties, Sarva Saundarya Sangraham, is walking right in front of the eyes of this Kundinapur residents, and they were attracted to Krishna, and they thought that Krishna is such a wonderful personality, and our princess Rukmini was also exquisitely beautiful, and Rukmini was being given to this foolish king Shishupal. So Shishupal is not the right match for Rukmini. Krishna is the right match for Rukmini. So if there is auspiciousness in the life of Rukmini, if she has some good fortune, may the providence arrange for the marriage of Rukmini and Krishna. So let Rukmini and Krishna be pair, not Shishupal and Rukmini. So even the Kundinapur Vasis who came to attend the marriage of Rukmini with Shishupal, they are also desiring spontaneously that Krishna should marry Rukmini, not Shishupal. So they thought that this will be a very good pair, Krishna and Rukmini, not Shishupal. So they also desired like that. So Krishna will definitely fulfill the desire, spontaneous desire of this Kundinapur residents also, along with fulfilling the desire of Rukmini Devi. So now this Vidarbhavasi saw Krishna, and they said only Rukmini deserves to be the wife of Krishna and no one else. He is possessing such flawless beauty, and he is the suitable husband for Rukmini. And may Achyuta be satisfied with whatever pious work that we have done and accept the hand of Rukmini. So like that, all the Vidarbha people, Kundinapur Vasis, they were speaking. They were even whispering with each other. They started sharing their thoughts with others also. And meanwhile, this Rukmini Devi, so she, along with her maid servants and some of her friends, and accompanied by so many elderly Brahmana ladies, so she came to this Durga temple, as it is a custom and it is common for brides to just go and take darshan of Durga temple. So Rukmini came to this Durga temple. Internally she was little anxious, and she was also very happy because she has already received the message of Brahmana. So she received the confirmation from Krishna. Krishna had accepted her proposal. Krishna read the letter and he was impressed. It's not that Krishna did not develop any negative impression on Rukmini Devi. He was very much eager to accept the hand of Rukmini. So Rukmini was very confident and very happy, and she was already courageous being a Kshatriya girl. And she was going inside the temple of this Durga, Ambika, along with her friends, and she was protected by so many soldiers. She was simply absorbing her mind in the lotus feet of Krishna. Although she was surrounded by so many people, and it seems that it is quite difficult even for Krishna to just come and accept Rukmini Devi in the midst of so many soldiers and so many women, and so many people are around there. So, but still, Krishna is expert to do this. So Rukmini was confident about it. So she went, she took darshan of Ambika, and she prayed to this Ambika, the deity of Durga there. Oh Mother Ambika, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. May Lord Krishna become my husband. Please grant this desire. I am very desirous of having Krishna as my husband. She just prayed. And Rukmini worshipped goddess with various paraphernalia, as it is customary. And later, the married Brahmana woman also worshipped Ambika along with Rukmini, and then they were like kind of guiding Rukmini in her rituals. And she bowed down to all these Brahmana ladies, and she bowed down to the deity, and she accepted the remnants, the prasadam. And Rukmini, then when she was coming out, she was looking exquisitely beautiful, and all the men, all the soldiers, all the kings who came, they were attracted to her beauty. So they were also kind of seeing Rukmini for the first time probably. So they were also attracted to the beauty of Rukmini. And on the pretext of procession, Rukmini displayed her beauty to Krishna alone. So Krishna was also around. So Krishna could see Rukmini, and then Rukmini wanted to show her beauty only to Krishna. Well, others are also just witnessing the whole scene. She was waiting for the arrival of the Lord. When will Krishna come closer to me? At that moment, she saw Krishna, and the enemies were looking there. So Krishna very effortlessly and swiftly took the hand of Rukmini and then took her on his chariot, and then he swiftly just ran there. So he just lifted the princess onto his chariot. Lord Madhava drove back with Balaram in the lead. He just ran. And it is common for Kshatriyas to do all these kinds of things. So this is called Rakshasa style marriage. Kidnapping a girl from the father's kingdom during her marriage ceremony is also a playful, bona fide activity for Kshatriyas, which was okay in previous yugas, not necessarily in Kali Yuga. So then Krishna just within moments he just kidnapped Rukmini, and then he just went swiftly on his chariot, and Jarasandha and other kings were really surprised. They were so astonished. What happened within just few moments? And envious kings like Jarasandha could not tolerate this. How can these mere cowheads, Krishna and Balaram, how can these mere cowheads just kidnap Rukmini? So we are all great Kshatriyas, because Balaramji and Krishna played the role of Gopas or cowheads in their childhood in Vrindavan. So Jarasandha is kind of insulting this Krishna and Balaram, calling them cowheads, which is considered a very low activity from the perspective of being Kshatriyas. But that is a topmost activity that Krishna would love to do in Vrindavan. So all these kings mounted on their chariots and they started chasing Krishna. But Krishna's chariot was moving so swiftly, and Rukmini was also next to Krishna. And the commanders of Yadava army, they were also seeing that so many people were attacking Krishna. So they also started fighting with these people. And Rukmini saw this huge army, and within moments a big fight, a great war just began. And Rukmini was a bit afraid of all these things. And she saw that the Lord's army was covered with torrents of arrows, and she shyly looked at Krishna's face with fear, and her eyes were filled with fear, and Krishna consoled her and reassured her with his pleasant, encouraging glances. Krishna first smiled. Prahasya bhagavanaha masma bhair vamalochane. So in response, the Lord laughed and assured her, "Do not be afraid, O beautiful-eyed Rukmini. This enemy force is about to be destroyed by your soldiers." Means Krishna just accepted her as his wife at heart now. And Krishna is saying that his army, the Yadava army, is Rukmini's army. Now Rukmini is not the princess of Kundinapur or the daughter of Bhishmaka or the sister of Rukmi. She is the wife of Krishna. So Krishna said that it is your army. Your army will defeat that enemy armies, don't worry. Like that. So the heroes of the Lord's army like Gada and Sankarshana, so they also came with their arrows, and they were striking the enemy's horses and elephants and chariots, and lying all around were various bodily parts of all these soldiers. So when arrows were thrown by the soldiers of Krishna, the soldiers on the side of this Rukmi and Jarasandha, their bodies were being cut, their arms were being cut, their thighs were being cut, their heads were being cut, their horses and their elephants and chariots were being broken. So like on the way, this is like not like stationary fight, it is like traveling. So Krishna was going away and these people were chasing Krishna, and while traveling swiftly on horses and elephants, there was fight. So it's a very dynamic fight. So seeing the victory of Vrishnis, Jarasandha and other people, they became so afraid. Already Jarasandha had a big experience of fighting with Krishna 17 times. Jarasandha went with 23 Akshohinis of armies in the city of Mathura, and Krishna and Balaram defeated Jarasandha's army 17 times like that, although he was accompanied with thousands of soldiers, hundreds and thousands of soldiers. And 18th time when he attacked Krishna and Balaram, apparently they just ran away as if they were fearful. So Jarasandha set fire on that mountain on which Krishna and Balaram went. And Jarasandha thought that Krishna and Balaram died. But Krishna and Balaram jumped off the mountain and went to Dwarka city. So now Jarasandha came to know that Krishna and Balaram are living in Dwarka city. They left Mathura city. So Jarasandha already knew the prowess of Krishna and Balaram. So now he was being defeated again, once again. And all his soldiers and other members of their troop who were supporters of Shishupala, they were also getting defeated. So Jarasandha just left this battlefield. And he approached Shishupala. And Shishupala was so morose that he lost his wife. So Shishupala was thinking that I have lost my wife. And he became so dull, his face dried up, he was looking very pale. And Jarasandha went and consoled Shishupal. He said, Shishupal, you should give up your depression. Don't feel so bad. This victory and defeat are very common in this world. Look at me. I have been defeated by Krishna and Balaram 17 times. And 18th time also, I was royally cheated and diverted by Krishna and Balaram. Still, I am very hopeful and I am hopeful of fighting with him later. So now, time is not in our favor. He says that embodied beings' happiness and distress are not permanent. So today you are unhappy, tomorrow you can become happy. So our happiness and distress are not permanent. Even demoniac people also speak philosophy. They also kind of express and exhibit their knowledge and wisdom of life. But oftentimes they fail to act on that platform, act on that knowledge oftentimes. So in this stage, Jarasandha is giving some good counseling to Shishupal. He says, a puppet is controlled by the puppeteer. Similarly, in this world, which is controlled by God, controlled by Ishvara and the Supreme Lord, one can get happiness and distress occasionally. I have taken 23 Akshohinis of armies and attacked Mathura 17 times, and every time I have been defeated. So it's very common. So, but still, I never lament or rejoice. I'm very neutral. So, because I know this world is driven by time and driven by fate. So, everybody has to experience the repercussions of one's own past deeds. You should not be so morose. You should not lament. So, now that you have lost your wife, Krishna has accepted her. So, you should not feel so bad. Just accept this as a defeat. As of all of us have been defeated by the Yadu's small entourage. Actually, the supporters of Shishupal were so many. There were hundreds of kings. Vidhurata, then Dantavakra, then Jarasandha himself is a very huge, big king in Magadha dynasty. Then Rukmi's soldiers were there. There were so many supporters. But from Krishna's side, only Balaramji was there, and then very few soldiers from Yadu dynasty have come. So this small entourage also was able to defeat such huge armies of the supporters of Shishupal. So it's like it's a proven fact that Krishna is unconquerable. So then Shishupal just restrained himself for any further pursuing the matter. So Shishupal and Jarasandha, they just stopped the fight. But one person was so adamant to continue to fight with Krishna. That was Rukmi. Rukmi was so adamant. So Rukmi continued to chase Krishna along with his few soldiers. And Krishna was taking this Rukmini and then he was running away. He was going swiftly on his chariot. And Shishupal left. So Rukmi started speaking to the kings that I shall not enter this Kundinapur again. I will not enter this Vidarbha city again before I defeat Krishna. So if I don't kill Krishna in the battle and bring back Rukmini back with me, I will not enter even this city. So he has taken a very firm vow and he declared it in front of all these Kshatriyas. So Kshatriyas commonly take such vows very courageously, but Rukmi did not know that he cannot do anything to Krishna. So Rukmi continued to pursue Krishna and he started speaking that, oh cowhead boy, you have violently abducted my sister. So how dare you even kidnap my sister? So today I will remove all your pride with my sharp arrows. So this Rukmi was looking down upon Krishna, thinking that Krishna was just a mere cowhead boy, while Rukmi was a very courageous, powerful Kshatriya. So boasting about himself, he approached Krishna and challenged Krishna, just stand there and fight. Then Rukmi drew his sword with great strength, and Krishna sent 3 arrows to cut the sword of Rukmini. So like that, Rukmi was trying to pick up some weapon, and Krishna is releasing that arrow and then just destroying that weapon, cutting that weapon. So whatever weapons that Rukmi was picking up, Krishna was just smashing those weapons. What fight he will do? And eventually Krishna just destroyed the chariot and chariot driver and Mukut and all the weapons of Rukmi. And at one point there was a small fight between Krishna and Rukmi. In front of Krishna, Rukmi was so insignificant, but out of his adamant nature and like over excitement to fight with Krishna and his egoistic tendency to have his sister back and marry her to Shishupal, so he was just continuing the chase. So finally, Sukadeva Goswami describes this whole fight very briefly, and finally the Lord took an arrow and he was about to kill Rukmi. Suddenly, Rukmini went and fell at the feet of Krishna. She said, "He is my brother after all. So you are the Supreme Lord, you are very compassionate, you are so benevolent. Can't you just show some mercy on my brother and spare his life on my marriage day? So please do not kill my brother." So seeing that Rukmini was trembling in fear and she had some compassion and her throat was choked up and her mouth was dried up and she was grasping Krishna's feet, and the Lord felt very compassionate and he did not kill Rukmi. But the Lord Krishna thought that, okay, Rukmi has spoken so many things, so let me just give him some token punishment, very jovial punishment. So Krishna took his sword and then gave a very peculiar haircut to Rukmi. He just shaved Rukmi at different places on his head. So Rukmi had some hairs at different spots, not just one sikha. He had some multiple spots of hair there, and Krishna shaved him partially, and he was made him quite disfigured. So and at this time, Balaramji arrived there, and Balaramji saw this peculiar haircut of this Rukmi, and Balaramji saw Rukmini. Rukmini was in tears. So Rukmini just begged for the life of her brother. Krishna spared his life, but Krishna, in a very naughty manner, Krishna also disfigured Rukmi, and Balaramji felt that, oh, Rukmini must be upset with this. So Balaramji kind of chastised Krishna, gave a feedback to Krishna. Krishna, you should not be insulting our relatives like this. After all, he is the brother of your wife. You should not be insulting like this. Like that, Balaramji very mildly, indirectly gave some message to Krishna and then consoled Rukmini Devi. And later, this Rukmi just stayed there at that spot only on the way. And he did not go back to Kundinapur because he had taken a vow. That I will defeat Krishna and I will get Rukmini back to our kingdom. Otherwise, I will not enter this kingdom only. And he failed to do so. And Krishna and Balaram royally defeated Rukmi and taken Rukmini away. So this Rukmi stayed there on that spot only. And Rukmini forgot her depression because she was consoled by Balaramji. And only Rukmi just could not forget his insult. He was so frustrated. His envy and his anger towards Krishna increased because he was so humiliated like this. So he stayed there only, and he made a small city there, and that is called Bhojakata. So because of the promise he had made, he did not enter Kundinapur and he stayed at Bhojakata only. So then later Krishna took Rukmini Devi to his kingdom, Dwaraka, and in the midst of so many chief people in the Yadu dynasty, Krishna married Rukmini Devi. So wonderfully that marriage has happened. So the city was gorgeously decorated, and all the royal families of Kuru, Srinjaya, Kekaya, Vidarbha, then Yadu and Kunti, all these people have joined for the marriage, and Krishna blessed Rukmini Devi with his association, and finally all the desires of Rukmini were fulfilled when she married Krishna. And this is the first marriage of Krishna. And beginning from this chapter, moving ahead, Sukadeva Goswami would be describing further marriages. In the later chapters, we will see how Krishna married his second wife Jambavati, third wife Satyabhama, and then 5 other princes like Nagnajiti, then Mitravinda, Kalindi, Satya, etc. And then 16,100 marriages are going to come when Krishna kills Narakasur. So like that, Krishna's marriages are being described now in this Dwaraka Leelas. The first queen of Krishna was Rukmini. And although Krishna is marrying 16,108 queens, still it's not that Krishna was like a attached householder who is dependent on his wives or his queens for his enjoyment. There is a beautiful shloka in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that says, Uddama bhava pishuna malaval guhasam Vridavaloka nihato madanopi yasam Sammuhya chapa bajahat pramadottamasta Yasyendriyam vimathitum kuhakairna sekuhum Uddama bhava pishunamalavalguhasa. Krishna's queens are so beautiful that they have such pure, spotless smiles and grave expressions and very attractive sidelong glances. Vridavaloka nihato madanopi yasam. They were so beautiful that even Cupid also becomes restless looking at them. And actually, whenever there is a male and female interaction and attraction in this world, that is instigated by Cupid, the Madana, the god of love. So this Cupid instigates this attraction between male and female in this world. But in Krishna's case, all the Dwaraka queens are naturally attracted to Krishna without the inspiration or instigation by Cupid. That means the Cupid's role is not there. So means this is not a lusty affair. This is a very loving affair. This is not an exchange of material lust. It's an exchange of spiritual love. So Vidavaloka nihato madanopi yasan sammuhya chapa majahat pramadottamasta. All these queens are the best women in the entire creation. Yasyendriyam vimadhitum kuhakairna sekuhu. Although these queens of Krishna have such wonderful, unparalleled feminine attributes, they cannot cause even the slightest agitation in the senses of Krishna. Krishna is steady. Krishna is not attracted to their feminine attributes. Of course, those feminine attributes are also spiritual. But the point highlighted here is Krishna is attracted to their loving devotional service, their pure affection for Krishna, their pure love for Krishna, their pure service attitude towards Krishna. So Krishna is just reciprocating with all of them. So Krishna's household life with all these queens cannot be compared with the normal household life of materialistic people. So in that series of shlokas in the first canto, 11th chapter, there is another beautiful shloka that says that etadishanamishasya prakritisthopi tadgunaihi nayujyate sadatmasthir yatha buddhi tadashrayah. Etad ishanamishasya. This is the divinity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prakritisthopi tadgunaihi. Although the Lord is in touch with Prakriti, he stays in this material world to perform various pastimes. Tadgunaihi nayujyate. He is not affected by these qualities. So people stay in this world, material world, in material bodies, having material exchanges with material desires, afflicted with material lust. But Krishna, although he descends into this material world, he has a material body, and his conjugal affairs with his queens are not because of material lust. That is spiritual love. Nayujyate sadatmasthir yatha buddhi tadashrayah. And even the devotees of the Lord who have taken shelter of Krishna also will not be affected by this material lust. So one may think that Krishna's affairs with his queens could be lusty affairs, why he has 16,108 queens, etc. But Bhagavatam clearly says that they are not lusty affairs, they are pure loving affairs. Even Krishna's devotees like Arjuna or Haridas Thakur, they wouldn't get attracted to the feminine attributes of opposite sex. Urvasi, when Arjuna went to heavenly planets, Urvasi came and proposed to Arjuna, but Arjuna called her mother. I cannot be like this. I cannot reciprocate with your proposals. He said like that. And in the middle of the night, one prostitute came to Haridas Thakur, who is called Namacharya, who is the Acharya of chanting of the holy names of the Lord. But Haridas Thakur has transformed the heart of that prostitute within 3 days and made her chant the holy names of the Lord and completely made her into a great Vaishnavi, that so many great Vaishnavas would come and take darshan of her to get purified themselves. So even Krishna's devotees are also not affected with material lust. How can Krishna be affected? So we are seeing that Krishna is kidnapping Rukmini and marrying her, and later also Krishna marries so many queens. Only one marriage is described so far by Sukadeva Goswami. There are 16,107 marriages more. So seeing all this, one could misunderstand Krishna's supreme position as an ordinary personality, but it is not so. Krishna's conjugal affairs with his queens are divine, they are spiritual, they are transcendental, with no trace of material lust. Thank you all very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्ण.